Hello everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel, tap the notification bell, like this video. That helps me to keep making videos. I'd appreciate it majorly. One more additional update on this bail hearing, and what was said in court, and just a few other details that were, it's just too interesting to pass up. This is my third video about this, and then I gotta get to work, get busy. All right, so Reuters actually, it says that the judge will probably decide the financier Epstein's bail request on Thursday. So that's not even absolutely definite as well, but it does say that he needed additional time to mull over all the information, so he was supposed to make a decision today, but he changed his mind or whatever, and he's going to decide on Thursday probably. And a couple of other things I'm going to paraphrase and then just read a few of, and there's some very interesting things that were said in court, very interesting, and I'm just going to quickly make a very brief little closing argument here, man. I think the judge is going to allow some of Epstein's victims who were in court today and will be in court on Thursday, I presume, to speak at the bail hearing, and we still don't know if the decision will be made then, but he says probably, and also I think the judge is leaning towards releasing or unsealing Jeffrey Epstein's financial statements, that have been kept under seal, even though he's presenting, trying to present terms and, of his proposed bail that relate to his wealth, but they've kept it under seal to this point. Ugh. So I'm going to keep going though, because I don't have time to remake these things. So that was interesting. The other thing that I saw, is this follow-up article, which has actually, clerical typos in it. So it's brand new and fresh. They're doing it really quickly over at CNBC that, the prosecutor's case against accused child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein is getting stronger every single day. Judge delays bail decision. And in this article, it says that, Ross Miller, one of the federal prosecutors, a federal prosecutor said on Monday that the evidence against accused child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein is already significantly stronger and getting stronger every single day since the wealthy investor's recent arrest. As he urged a judge to keep Epstein locked up without bail, Alex Ross Miller, the prosecutor at a detention hearing in Manhattan federal court, said multiple witnesses have contacted authorities since Epstein was arrested, and that prosecutors are trying to corroborate their allegations. This was the interesting part. And Ross Miller also told a judge that investigators had found in Epstein's $77 million home, Manhattan townhouse, a locked safe containing cash, diamonds, and an expired passport from another country that has Epstein's photograph on it, but it's supposed to be it says bit. But with a different name and a stated residence of Saudi Arabia. And I think the obviously implication is that these are all, tools that could potentially help somebody, flee quickly and help in doing that, cash, diamonds, things that could help pay for and pay off, to people to get out of the country, and a passport that has Epstein's photograph on it, but with a different name and a stated residence of Saudi Arabia. And it's interesting that it's Saudi Arabia. I don't need to get into it right now, but so Epstein's defense lawyer Martin Weinberg told Judge Richard Berman that a non-prosecution agreement Epstein reached with the U.S. Justice Department in 2007 meant that federal prosecutors in New York cannot charge him in the current case, which contains allegations of conduct during the same time frame covered by the agreement, which is essentially the same argument that, in my previous video that I just made 2 videos ago, from Andrew McCarthy, the former assistant U.S. attorney who worked in the Southern District of New York, a former associate of Rudy Giuliani, was basically making in the National Review that it's double jeopardy. So basically, it's just interesting that that people who advocate on behalf of Trump, Trump advocates, are in agreement, are in agreement with the defense attorneys of Jeffrey Epstein. It's just, I mean, and whether they are or not, I just find that just rather hilarious. And Jeffrey Epstein's former attorneys, one of them, actually two of them, regularly, Alan Dershowitz and Kenneth Starr, particularly Alan Dershowitz, since Trump was elected, regularly appear on Fox advocating Trump on other matters, on the Russia investigation, regularly. So, but whatever. I mean, I don't want to get too crazy. So, but it's just hilarious that Trump advocates are basically, coming from the same position that Epstein's defense attorneys are. I mean, and so I go back to the whole thing, the whole thing of what I've been talking about, that I had this belief that Hillary Clinton and Trump fixed the election, and that basically Hillary Clinton lost on purpose. And I don't know why she did that, whether she was blackmailed or whether she was blackmailed and complicit, whatever, I don't know. So it just goes back to the whole thing of, if you follow the fact that Trump, knew Epstein, they knew of each other, they've been at each other's houses, dinner parties, whatever, and Trump barred Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for similar behavior, for allegedly doing similar things back in 2000. And this came to light basically in court documents when lawyers for the victims, after the sweetheart slap on the wrist plea deal of 2007 between Epstein, his attorneys, and the former U.S. attorney in the Southern District of Florida who approved it, Alex Acosta, who went on to become Trump's Labor Secretary. But the fact that Trump barred him from his Mar-a-Lago just illustrates that he knows who this, of this person's behavior. And this is in the court documents that were for the victims after the non-prosecution agreement, even though not all the terms of that exactly, became public in 2009. So Trump knows of this person, kicks him out of his own club because of similar behavior, and they wanted to depose Trump, in their suit, the attorneys for the victims, because of that. Then fast forward to 2015, where Trump is meeting with his friend and longtime associate David Pecker, the former owner of the National Enquirer, in Trump Tower, weeks before he would appear at CPAC, before he's officially announced his run for presidency. And in this meeting, supposedly, according to Sam Nunberg, a former employee of the Trump organization, and Michael Cohen, who this reporter spoke to both of them, claimed that David Pecker had told Trump, that the pictures that Epstein had of Clinton were worse. I don't have it actually. He said, so Nunberg recalled, he said not to tell anyone, but that Pecker had just been there and had brought the issue with him. Trump said that Pecker had told him that the pictures of Clinton that Epstein had from his island were worse. Cohen, speaking by phone from the Federal Corrections Institution in Otisville, corroborated Nunberg's version of the events, though he declined to add any additional information about the meetings. That's very recent. That's 2015, before Trump becomes president, before he's actually announced it. He's meeting with David Pecker, supposedly, about pictures that Epstein has of Clinton. And then after Trump's elected, it just so happens that he names the one U.S. attorney that approved the sweetheart slap on the wrist plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein back in 2007, 2008, his labor secretary, who has resigned, but of all his cabinet members who resigned, Trump goes out shoulder to shoulder with the individual, stands there with him, as the man resigns. And that's where we are right now. That's the story there, man. That is the story there. All right, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.